No, at the time, this is when I went in and had this picture.
And when you look at that guy, what do you think?
I don't know. I felt like I never followed people. And I look for my own way of going and doing and fixing and progressing. And I was born and raised right here. My dad owned the Bergman nursery. I was doing everything that when your dad owns a business, you just do things. And I was driving when I was 15 years old, the trucks and hauling this and that, and joined the Navy when I was 17, and they said, well, you have to wait till you're 18 to go to boot camp up at Great Lakes. And so that was my entry into the service at Aviation Radioman, 3rd class. We're hauling the wounded off all the islands all over the Pacific. About every island, I have a jacket there showing the islands. We flew to about every island in the Pacific because we were hauling VIPs and wounded and whatever, mail maybe. The whole plane was full of mail, and you didn't know when you're in the transport business what they're putting in the plane. So, but no, it was quite an experience when you're just a young guy and get World War II. Not many of us left. They had a crew of just 4 people, the pilot, co-pilot, radioman, and a navigator. And then the back end had a lot of nurses and ordnance guys and other people, but it was a load.
But no room for parachutes.
Mm-hmm.
So if something happened...
Well, we didn't have... When you're flying all over the Pacific and you're better off to go down with the plane as to jump out, because nobody will ever find you or pick you up. So if you go down with a plane and you got maybe a matter of how good the pilot landed the plane on the water, how long you got, maybe 5 minutes, maybe if he did a good job of landing to get your life rafts and everything out. And so you at least got those life rafts where you can get out in and get away from that plane. And one day I had to go up and check my radio gear out because I had to get clearance for takeoff time and what elevation and what we were go out on and a lot of information. And so I had to get that all checked out before we took off. And as I went up from the back where they were loading these litter cases, there was just one guy. I just felt his eyes following me up there all the way up to that bulkhead, and that he was all bandaged. I couldn't recognize anybody. And just as I got about to him, he looked up and he said, I know you. He said, you're Don Bergman from Quincy. And I said, yes, you're right now you tell me who you are, because I can't tell with all your bandages. And he said, my name is Henry Shackleton. I live on Lynn Street at Quincy. So that was kind of odd to bring one of your Quincy guys home. And he was still living. I don't know how he ended up, but it was a long war yet after that. And then on Iwo Jima, when we went on there to land one day to bring home some, I don't know what the cargo was that day, but anyway, we blew a tire on the landing strip they had secured by taking that island, and we had a tire go out, and so we had to lay over 2-3 days, and so I saw some fishing gear there, and I saw another guy. I said, "Hey, you were on the plane with me. You want to do a little fishing or something to do here?" And while they were trying to get us a new wheel, so we were there fishing on that gas barge. The thing in the Navy or Army or anywhere, you meet a new friend, you say, "Where are you from?" You know. So he said, "Illinois," and I said, "You got me too." And I'm from there, and he said, "I'm from Quincy," and I said, "Oh my God, I'm from Quincy." And so to meet his name was Eldon Frame, and to meet somebody like that from Quincy, fishing off of a Japanese gas barge in Iwo Jima, it's kind of rare. But anyway, it happened that way. So I was there when they were signing the papers and war was over, and so it was quite a relief for all the crews and get back to the States again. And I'm going to be 100. And when you're sitting there talking to you and you're 99, and that December's coming right up. But no, it's been a long run, and nobody, when you keep getting older and older every year, and you think about it, and you just can't believe that, you know, it's going to be 100. But golfing and fishing, and boy, I did it all. If you name something. And then I got in the quarter horse business too. I had built this barn for the boys when I bought this ground, and they had ponies and just about anything to keep them busy. And we played a lot of golf and had my own team and a bowling team. I had the same bowling team for many years.
So you got to keep the body active.
Yeah, when I worked at the nursery, I'd come home here for lunch and maybe eat a sandwich or something in a hurry, and I'd stretch out on the floor in there on the carpet and take me about 10 or 15 minute nap and back on my feet. And the nursery's only a matter of about a minute or two up the road. So I'd be back to going again, and it was a hurried up life for my whole life. And but it was rewarding because I don't know, I felt like I accomplished a lot. 58 years.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
How did you guys meet?
On the Mississippi River sandbar. Having somebody by your side all the time. And I tell my guys at coffee, I said, you know, it might sound silly to you now, but if you just give your wife, when you get up in the morning and you're there out eating breakfast or whatever, give your wife a kiss and kiss her goodnight and in the morning. And you try that with your wife and you'll have a heck of a lot happier marriage. And I do a lot of praying, I'm telling you, through all those years. I had enough difficulties that the only thing I had left was some prayers, and they all seemed to be answered one way or the other.
Muddy River News. Our home, our news.